In this video, I'm going to show you how to have complete clarity in your real estate business. Now, imagine trying to play one of the hardest games in the world, the game of business, and playing it blindfolded. Now, it has been my experience talking with agents that this is how most of agents are playing the game of the real estate business. See, we're taught the real estate side of the real estate business. It's everything to do with closing more sales and earning more income, which is very important. But very few agents are trained on what I call the business side of the real estate business. So things like business structuring, tracking our numbers, having clarity in our business, how to think like an entrepreneur instead of a salesperson, and having clarity and gaining clarity and putting the systems in place to have clarity in your business is one of those business aspects that most agents are never taught. And so I have created a tracker to help agents do it. Now, before you go, because I know nobody likes tracking. It's tedious, it's boring, it takes a lot of time. I have made this thing so simple that all it takes is about 5 minutes per week when you are tracking, if you have regular expenses, or even less time if you're just entering as you do transactions. So with that being said, let's go over to the scorecard here, the agent's financial scorecard, and I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like. So let's do this. This is the dashboard. Now the dashboard is where we get all of our information pulled. It makes it nice and easy to see. And what you're going to see here is two different shades of tan. We've got a light tan and a dark tan over here on the left. And the dark tan is the areas that you fill. And so what we're going to do is first start by setting up our dashboard by entering in our GCI goal. How much money do we want to earn in revenue this year in our business? And then we're going to put in our average sale price. So let's just change this. Let's adjust this a little bit. Let's say it's $250,000, or let's go even lower. Let's say $185,000, right? And then we see our average sale price. Now you can do this a couple different ways. If you have transactions, if you're an experienced agent, you can look at your actual average sale price, or you can pull the information from your MLS for whatever area you serve. So let's just leave it here. Let's say it's $465, and then we're going to put in our average commission rate. Now what this is going to spit out for us is going to show us what our average commission would be. In this case, $11,625. And it's going to give us sales target. How many homes do we have to sell per year? What about per quarter? What about per month? And what does our total volume need to be in order to hit our goal? Now we're going to come back to this dashboard in just a second, but first I need to show you the transactions. So how this works is very simple. The first thing you're going to do when you set this up is we're going to put in our broker information. So our split, our cap, and if we have any fixed transaction fees. In this case, we put $250. Now we're going to see that there's an input transaction section here. So all we do is we enter the date. So let's just do, today's date is 10/24. We're going to do the type of transaction. Let's say it's a seller. Property address is 7 whatever Main Street. We're going to do a sale price. Let's say it's $505,000, and we got a 3% commission here, and our lead source was a Facebook ad lead, right? So what I want to show you here, this is very important because this again will give us clarity, especially where we're spending money in our business and where we're spending our time, so we can get the most bang for our buck. So we've got a whole list here. The blue is kind of your sphere, people that you know. The green is going to be social media, and we can always add to this too if you want. And the last is going to be all your paid lead sources. So if you're running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn, Realtor.com, buying leads from Zillow, whatever it is, they are here. Now once we do that, we're going to enter in any miscellaneous fees. Now these are fees that are taken out before you get your check from your broker. So this may be things like buyer credits, seller credits, transaction coordinator fees. So let's say our transaction coordinator is $300. We're going to hit confirm here, and then we're just going to submit the transaction. Now once we've done that, we see it gets added to the bottom of the list down here. I'm going to scroll down. We see that that transaction just got added. Now what I want to show you is two things here. One of the things, again, with being an entrepreneur, the business side of real estate, is understanding that business revenue and personal income are two different things. And so you have the ability here on the commission allocation to split up how you want that check allocated between personal, business, and tax accounts. And what this will do is once we adjust this, like let's say we say 25 to business and 25 to tax, it is going to adjust this for us. And before I move that, we'll see that here, this turned red because we're over 100%, but as soon as we go back to 100%, turns back to the blue, right? So this is going to tell us exactly how much money to put in each account based on the most recent transaction. Now I do want to show you this. We see line 19 here, what I've got highlighted. The commission on this deal was $19,575, but we see the broker split is much lower than it should be. The reason for that is because this spreadsheet, this tracker, automatically calculates your cap and your split into the formula. And so we hit our cap with only $1,121 in this transaction, and that is why it is lower than it would be if you had your full 15%. And that is why moving forward, all the broker splits are set at 0. So this is super nice. It's a way to automate and keep track of all of your transactions. You may have something like this in your broker portal already. However, I always recommend that you do this stuff manually. Again, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. You saw how quick that was, and that's with me explaining and the setup. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. The reason I recommend doing things manually is because then you have eyes on your numbers. If you've got data on a screen and you don't enter it in yourself, it is very hard to have insights into that data, and it's very easy to just kind of overlook and put it on the back burner. And so if we set up a system where we do this maybe 5 minutes every Friday, or when a transaction closes, and you can see it only takes 30 seconds to input this information. Now we have a couple other sheets here that are going to add in before we go back to the dashboard. But before I talk more about the expenses, I want to let you guys know I do have this available for my clients. I will put a link down in the description. I have a course, The Foundations of Finance for Real Estate Agents. It is a 20-lesson course, 19 or 20 lessons. It's being shot right now. And this will cover all the business, all the financial business structuring of your business. And it'll give you all the things that you aren't taught in school, you aren't taught by your parents, you aren't taught by your brokerage, and no other YouTube channel that I've seen covers. So that will be available, and all of these tools that I will show you on this channel will be part of that package for the course. With that being said, we're also doing an additional add-on if that's something you want, where we will actually work with you and implement and set up these systems for you. It's kind of like a coaching program to get that set up. Obviously an additional fee, but if you just want the tracker, you want the course, that is available as well. So let's look at expenses. Again, very simple: date, amount, vendor, description, and then the category. The categories are set up specifically so that when you go to do your taxes, this is what they're going to categorize your expenses as. And if you have any questions as to what something fits in, we have a little handy document here. So photographer, right, like an assistant, virtual or in person, professional services. A cell phone bill is going to be operations, right? Copywriting, design services, professional services. So we've got a whole list in alphabetical order: office furniture, office equipment and technology, right? A whole list, so that you can categorize everything correctly, so that when it comes tax time, you can make this nice and simple. Now, we've also added, there's a miles tracker as well. It looks just like the this expense tracker, or this expense page, so I'm not going to go into details there. But we also did a tax report. The nice thing about this is it is set up and sized so that at the end of the year, you can just hit print, you can hand this to your CPA, and they're going to have everything listed out. They're going to have it all categorized, and they're going to have a breakdown pie chart showing exactly where your money went, so that they can do your taxes nice and easy. You don't have to worry about it. Now, this is a new feature I've just added on, so I don't have any data in here, but this is amazing. I'm so excited for this. This is a lead source ROI tracker. So what we do here is, if we are paying for marketing or leads and we want to track, we want to see where our money is going, and should we continue to spend money somewhere? Should we pull back on where we're spending money? This tracker, this ROI calculator, will let us know. So if we spend money on Facebook ads, we're going to enter it here. Again, date, amount, description, source. We've got all of our different paid sources here, confirm, and then we can submit the lead source. Once we have some transactions added, these are just fake numbers for the meantime, but we'll be able to see what is the ROI on that marketing spend, right? If it's Zillow here, for example, we see fake numbers again, 9,254 spent, but we got a revenue of 28,162. So my question to you is, would you spend $9,000 to earn $28,000? Most people would say yes, right? Facebook paid ads, $2,700 spent, almost $31,000 in revenue for 11.47 times ROI. That is an incredible return on the investment. So that's something that maybe I want to start pouring some more money into, right? These numbers, you see there's blue, red, blue, and green. The red is going to be anything below 2. The blue is going to be between 2 and 5, and anything above 5 will show up as green. So again, nice and visual, nice and easy to spot where your money's going and if it's paying off or not. So with that being said, going back to the dashboard, what I want to show you guys is this. When we enter in the transactions, when we enter in the expenses, all of this light tan over here is going to auto-populate. So we'll see the GCI, we will see the homes sold, we'll see our volume, we'll see the average sale price, right? I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I do want to highlight this one, the average monthly revenue. Why is this so important to understand? Well, we all know that real estate has good months and it has not so good months, sometimes pretty bad months, right? And so when we have a bad month, it is helpful to see that our average monthly revenue is not $2,000 or whatever it is that month, right? It is actually $16,000. It's easier to keep our eye on the ball. On the flip side, when we have a great month, say we close $40,000, $50,000 in one month, we can say, hey, my average monthly commission is about $17,000. And so I probably shouldn't go on vacation. I probably shouldn't buy that car. I should probably account maybe for some slower times because my average isn't $40,000, $50,000. It's closer to $17,000. And this really helps give us insight into the business. So again, it's going to track total expenses. It's going to show us our total profit. It's going to show us our profit margin. We got a nice little chart over here to show us our lead sources for closed transactions. We've got expenses by category. And then we've got a couple little bars down here at the bottom. GCI per month, we're going to see that. And then we're also going to see the goal progress. So this is going to, again, auto-populate based on what you've actually sold and where you have set your goals. So you can see if we adjust the goals, for example, 25,000. That's it. You should set your goals higher if your goal is 25 grand. We can see if we put it to 250, that's all going to adjust for us, right? So with that being said, this is the tracker. If you are interested in getting something like this, this is included for my students in the course, but I am considering just selling this separately as well, but I highly recommend the course. So keep an eye out on that. Let me know in the comments if that is something you're interested in, and we'll get you set up. We'll get you some contact information so that you can at least register to get informed on what that looks like. So until next time, my name is Christian Thiessen with Red Tail Financial, and I will see you guys on the next video.